live.
Oh, is this thing on? I don't care. I want him to hear.
This is the Pregame Show, your early morning shot of sports on 95.7 The Game.
Branham circles through. Wembanyama pops out, turns, shoots, short, rebound, back to Wembanyama. Buzzer sound, didn't matter. No good. Ball game's over. And the Warriors will hang on to the number 10 spot.
They will. Tim Roy on the call there, right here on 95.7 The Game. Your home for Golden State Warriors basketball. Good morning, everyone. Hope you all had a lovely Easter holiday yesterday. If you don't celebrate Easter, I hope you just had a nice Sunday with yourself, with the fam, whatever you wanted to do. As long as you were safe, not hurting others, I don't really care. It's a pregame show, Joe Spadoni, and for the next hour, you got me, and I guess we're going to talk about some sports. I mean, this is a sports talk radio station after all, and you can talk about the Warriors winning their fourth straight, 117-113 over the San Antonio Spurs. Now 22-15 away. They don't have any problems on the road. I am confident in that. They are the road Warriors this season because they just can't win at home. But that's going to be tested coming up here. Massive games. Call it the Texas three-step because you'll be in Texas for two games. We play a Texas team tomorrow in the Dallas Mavericks and Luka Doncic, who, by the way, Sammy, I don't know if you saw this shot or any of you out there. I know you're locked in on the Warriors, Lakers, whatever, Rockets, but the Rockets were playing the Mavericks yesterday, and Luka had a one-handed, underhanded floater from the three-point line. It was just sick. So that guy's coming into town tomorrow, and we'll have all that coverage, obviously, right here on 95.7 The Game, having the call, great Tim Roy, pre- and post-game, all that. But the Warriors get a much-needed victory. And they end the road trip 4-1. Yeah. Like we all thought. Yeah, Draymond, yeah. Please. Draymond, by the way. Scoring? Draymond Green was scoring yesterday. 21 points, 11 assists, 6 steals. 6. Guy was all over the place. That was a masterclass from Draymond Green and Stephen Curry doing what he does. 33 points. Again, the assist totals, 8 of those. Getting everyone involved. Andrew Wiggins, not going to talk about that performance. Prior to that, was playing well, but you know how it goes on this show, what I think about Andrew Wiggins. The consistency is no longer there, so you cannot count on him night in and night out. The only guy you can count on, Stephen Curry, Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, off the bench. He started again yesterday. Not his greatest shooting performance. 2 of 8 from beyond the arc. 13 points overall. 5 of 13 overall from the field. But Moses Moody. Again, I'm not mad at seeing Moses in games where Wiggins is clearly just, it's not happening. And you know from Wiggins, and he's had some games this year where he's obviously drifted in the first half and he's got his S together in the second or in the fourth quarter. And he's made a run and the team's made a run. But for the most part, last year and a half, 2 years, whatever you want to say, he's just been consistently inconsistent, Andrew Wiggins. And when it's not happening for him in that given game, give Moody, give the young guy, give him some minutes. And he stepped up yesterday off the bench playing 22 minutes. He was a plus 12 overall in the plus-minus category, and take that for what it's worth. It's not the end-all, be-all. It's a tool like any other stat that can be useful and cannot be. I think it was useful yesterday. 10 points for him, 4 boards, gets an assist, 3 of 6 overall, but 2 of 3 from beyond the arc. Getting that confidence. And out of all the players, even Klay Thompson, who's had to go off the bench and his ego's gotten checked more, I don't think anyone has been as resilient on this team as Moses Moody. Confidence is a fragile thing in sports. And his confidence has never wavered. Ever. Up in Santa Cruz, with the team, DMP, non-DMP. Like, I look at him, I look at Kevon Looney. We got a little bit of action again yesterday. Not a peep. Nothing. And he had a great quote yesterday after the game. Again, we're talking Warriors 117-113 went over the San Antonio Spurs. Warriors now 40-34 on the year. As we look at the standings now in the Western Conference, Warriors got a 2-game lead over the Houston Rockets. Tari Eason, oh boy.
Warriors, come out to play! Warriors, come out to play! Yeah, it's like that.
Luka Doncic was like that for the Houston Rockets yesterday. So Houston now 2 games back. And really, it feels like 3 games back because they got the tiebreaker. The Warriors, that is, over them in the season series. So they do have a game coming up this week, and it's going to be in Houston. But is it time to get a little greedy? Maybe greedy's too strong. But is it time to think bigger than just the 9-10 play-in spot? Now, it's going to be tough. You're still a game and a half back of the Lakers. You play them one more time in Los Angeles. You're 3 back of the Phoenix Suns and the Sacramento Kings. So it does seem like you're locked into that 9-10 matchup, but crazy things could happen. You're going to start looking at some of these other teams and who they're playing. The Suns, the Kings, what have you. But if you get performances like you did in a must-win game, gotta-have-it game for Golden State from a guy like Moses Moody, and he's talking like this after the game, I like my chances.
It hasn't been a smooth sea. It's been bumpy. It's been, I heard somebody else talk about, like, don't be surprised that the boat's going to rock during the storm. It's supposed to. Like, the life is a storm and everything's a journey. Not expecting everything to be straight. It's just being prepared for whatever.
And what better team to be on in a storm than with 2 guys in the Splash Bros? Am I right? Come on, that was easy. That was a layup. Come on. Hand me that on a silver platter. But he's right. That's life right there. It's going to get a little bumpy. The boat is a rockin', don't come a knockin'. Shout out Tyrion Lannister when he was on the boat with Jon Snow and Daenerys Targaryen. Am I right? I know we don't like to remember those seasons, but that was a big deal when it happened. I was going to say shout out something that I probably shouldn't say, so I'm not going to say it. House of Dragon coming back in, next month, couple months? Can't wait for that. That first season was en fuego. Pun intended. Good morning to all of you on the YouTube chat. We are streaming live and local Monday through Friday right here on 95.7 The Game, your home for Golden State Warriors basketball. 5 a.m. through 7 p.m. all day long. It's all powered by First NorCal Credit Union. Go ahead and search again, like 95.7 The Game. All of that, ring that bell. And you can also hit me up on the Comcast Business text line or call in at 888-957-9570. That's the number, people. Wrestling is Dopamine. Good morning. I love that name. Love that. It is Dopamine. That was me when I was a kid. With all my little action figures, my Hasbros. Got, Stone Cold. Got the Big Show. Got The Rock. Got all of it. All of it. Derek Casanare Sr., good morning. Great to be able to listen from Bangkok. Oh, let's go. Thailand, baby. In the house. I can go for some pad thai right now. 5:09 a.m. You do a lot of soups over in Thailand too. Soup for breakfast. I'm not mad at that. Clear up the sinuses, get some chilies in there and stuff like that. Oh yeah. Does a body good. It was chilly last night too at my house. All right. Enough about food. It's too much. Talking Warriors, talking their win. Could also talk a little Giants as they split the series in San Diego. They finish up there. They take on the Los Angeles Dodgers tonight at Chavez Ravine. It's going to be Keaton Wynn versus the Big Maple, James Paxton, huh? James Paxton. He's all right with the Yankees. I still remember him as a Mariner. He didn't win a Cy Young, did he? He had a hell of a year, though, I feel like, with Seattle. Let me go at my James Paxton knowledge. Pitched to no, that's what it was. Okay. 2018 with the Mariners. He was there for 5 years up in Seattle. Then he's with the Yanks for 2 years. Back with the Mariners. Took a year off, then with the Red Sox last year. Okay.
Do you remember he was a guy, I think, on like 1 year on opening day, like the bald eagle like went after him or something?
That's right. Well, he is bald too, so it worked.
Well, he's also Canadian. He was the only Canadian on the field, and the eagle just knew like one of these things and like the other.
This is the real Maple Jordan, am I right? Not Andrew Wiggins.
Absolutely no. It's no one else.
It's James Paxton. So that's actually really good that the bald eagle went after him and stuff. Bald eagles, by the way, there's one, if you go to the Oakland Zoo, those things are majestic. Like those, that, and I obviously
got some wingspans on them too.
No, massive, and it's obviously in an enclosed area because I probably something wrong with his wing or can't survive out in the wild. But if you got to the Oakland Zoo, you take the little whatever that thing's called,
the tram,
the gondola. There you go. The
gondola, what shout out gondolas.
What Dave Cavill and co was trying to build right in Oakland. God, those clowns. By the way, did you see the Oakland terms and what they want from Dave Cavill and John Fisher and co? Very interesting. Little twists and turns from Oakland trying to get the A's back for at least a couple years and maybe keep professional and Major League Baseball in Oakland. Just potentially, cross my fingers, hold my breath. But Oakland's playing hardball. And what we know about John Fisher, he doesn't do that. He cowers and turtles up and he looks elsewhere, but he might not be able to do that in Sacramento or Salt Lake City. We can get into that a little bit later. But Keaton Winn, James Paxton pitching tonight for the Giants and Dodgers, respectively. Dodgers getting the series win over the St. Louis Cardinals. Those are really fun series all weekend. Baseball's just, it's hitting right now. Again, no pun intended. But the Giants, if anything else, and I have high expectations now just from what I've seen in 4-game sample size, I think they are going to be a 90-win team. I said that before the season. After seeing the bats and the pitching depth that they are going to be getting this season from at least the starters, this is a great formula that I'm seeing. Chapman, guy just knocks, man. When he gets his spot, he is up there with the highest, or I should say hardest, hitters in Major League Baseball. We saw that when he was at the Home Run Derby a few years back. Remember when his dad was throwing him sliders and stuff like that? I was like, what the hell are you doing, Papa Chapman? We need meatballs out there. We're not doing backdoor sinkers and stuff like that. But he was knocking it then, and I get it. His claim to fame is always going to be the glove. But I do think Giants fans were sleeping on his bat heading into the season. I know he didn't have the greatest season last year offensively with the Toronto Blue Jays. But if he gets in his zone, he could be as hot as anyone. Now, am I expecting that all year long? No. He's not going to be a 300 hitter. That's not his game. But I was impressed from what I saw from the San Francisco Giants this weekend. Padres also, don't sleep on them. George Contos joined the boys last week. Bonte and Chasky, I believe it was that Friday, Thursday, Friday. There we go. Days are getting all mixed up here. You can find that entire interview, by the way, YouTube. Search 95.7 The Game, like, subscribe. There. Also, the Odyssey app. Download that bad boy. You can listen to us all over our great nation, wherever the bald eagle is flying, if you will. But all our international viewers, obviously, Bangkok this morning. Shout out Bangkok. Thailand. Hangover 2. On the YouTube app. But, Contos was talking about the Padres not being a team you could sleep on. And then you just look at that lineup, and we are sleeping on them. Tatis, Machado, Cronenworth, got studs left and right. Now, the pitching, if you Darvish at a bajillion years old is still your number one, I don't feel great about that. Joe Musgrove, all right. Lost Blake Snell. When's Snelly going to be coming up here? Hopefully sooner rather than later. Because again, when this team gets healthy, when Robbie Ray eventually comes back, got Cobb, Logan Webb, who I thought was efficient in his first game. Got Keaton Winn. What are you going to get from him? Showed flashes. Kyle Harrison, I was impressed with. The Rook out of De La Salle. Shout out the Spartans. Now, bear with me here. When I was watching a little bit of Kyle Harrison, he reminded me of another left-handed phenom who's now with the Miami Marlins. And he had this problem too. Well, let's say it's early. Guy's a rookie. But Jesus Luzardo, left-handed, throws hard, not as much spin on the ball as I think Harrison does. But Harrison, he threw a couple of those meatballs up there, those change-ups at 85 miles an hour that just got absolutely torpedoed over the weekend. That's something he's going to learn from. Luzardo, it wasn't the change-up. It was the fastball, but it was very similar. He'd have this game going. Everything's going great. He's getting that strikeout total up. And then he'd just throw a meatball down the middle and just get destroyed. That's something I'm looking for him to improve off in his rookie year. And it's going to take time. But I liked what I saw. Giants, again, 2-2 to start the year, taking on the Dodgers tonight, their first series. Giants-Dodgers, it still hits. It does. So do those Warriors wins as we shift back to Golden State. Again, Warriors 117-113. And if you have any thoughts on the Giants opening series, let me know at 888-957-9570. Just wanted to touch on them for a hot second because they did lose yesterday. It wasn't pretty. Dalton Jeffries did look like a guy that hasn't started in 2 years. And even when he was healthy with the A's, kind of looked like Dalton Jeffries. Joey Bart, by the way. See you later. Huh? We're going to have a conversation later in the show about that. Joey Bart, James Wiseman, and Trey Lance. Those were conversations we were having, huh? Who's going to be the best? Who's going to be the worst? Who's the biggest bust now? That's the conversation. We'll discuss that. We will. You didn't get anything for Joey Bart. You at least got something for James Wiseman. You got something for Trey Lance. Adios. See you later. Joey, we hardly knew you. And I thought you could have seen a little bit out of him this spring, right? The way he was hit. Guess not. Bob Melvin said, kick rocks. He's not my player. I didn't inherit him. So, from the Comcast Business text line, 949. The Warriors have the Lakers, Suns, and Kings on notice. They're taking a playoff spot. Look out! Exclamation point. 888-957-9570. Hit me up on the Comcast Business text line. If you're just getting off work, ready for work and ready for school, good morning. This is the pregame show. Joe Spadoni talking Warriors win over the San Antonio Spurs, amongst other things. Hope you all had a lovely, lovely weekend. It was beautiful yesterday. Easter Sunday, you had some ugly rain on Saturday, but Sunday it cleared up. It was beautiful. That's all you can ask on Easter Sunday on a holiday, right? God, and by the way, what are you supposed to do with these plastic eggs? Are we supposed to reuse those every year? I see these Easter egg hunts. I was like, I don't want these in my car. I don't want any of this crap. You try to give it back to the people. I was like, hey, how about you guys use this for next year? I don't know. Reuse it, recycle. This is the Bay Area after all. Shouldn't we be on the forefront of this crap? Yeah, no, you guys keep it. I don't want this. Oh, sorry. Grumpy old man here yelling, but shouldn't we have a better method for that? Shouldn't we have giant cages or something where we're tossing these back? We could take the candy. We'll keep that. I don't want these eggs in my car, my house. Ugh. Just grumpy. Grumpy all around. Steve Kerr. He's not grumpy. He's happy about his 4-1 road trip.
Yeah, fantastic trip, particularly after losing the first one in tough fashion for the guys to bounce back, win 4 straight games on the road. It's a sign of their competitiveness and their grit. Even though it wasn't pretty tonight, they got it done.
They got it done. And then going back to that text I got from the 949, Warriors have the Lakers, Suns, and Kings on notice. They're taking a playoff spot. Well, again, I'm looking at the standings. Maybe the Lakers, you haven't noticed, but the Lakers have won 7 out of their last 10. They've been playing well. They kind of have the opposite of the Warriors, which this is more normal, but 15-21 on the road, but 27-12 at home. They are one of the better road teams. Check that. They're one of the better home teams in the Western Conference. And they're wrapping up a road trip here pretty soon, and they'll be back at home, and they've been balling on their road trip. They were up 17-0 on the Brooklyn Nets yesterday. Nets made a little bit of a run. I think LeBron had 40 at damn near 40 years old. Guy's just incredible. He's 9-10 from beyond the arc. Unreal what these guys, Stephen Curry, Kevin Durant, are doing. Speaking of Kevin Durant and the Phoenix Suns, they are the 8th seed currently. They're tied with the Sacramento Kings. Kings having the tiebreaker over them right now, both at 43 and 31. So the Kings at the 7th spot, and then the Pelicans 2 games ahead of Sacramento for that crucial 6th spot in the West. Mavericks, they've won 7 in a row. They are red hot. So you're getting 2 of the hottest teams in the Western Conference, the Mavericks and the Warriors, facing off tomorrow at Chase Center. Again, we'll have all that coverage starting at 6 o'clock. Cannot wait for that. Luka, Kyrie, and Kel. They're 9-1 in their last 10. Is that a team we should start fearing in the playoffs? Is that a dark horse for anyone? The Dallas Mavericks. I feel like no one's talking about them. Should we be? And maybe because and most of us, we got to see it with Kyrie in the playoffs when it comes to health. I got to see it work with Luka and ISO ball in the playoffs. And I love Luka's game, but we got on James Harden for the exact same reason, him coming up short a lot. And I think Luka is going to go down as a better player when it's all said and done than James Harden. And I don't say that lightly. James Harden is a top 75 player in the history of the game. He's an MVP. I think we sleep on those Rockets teams because we hated them so much. But they were a couple made threes away after missing, 27 straight of potentially being in the finals and defeating one of the greatest teams, if not the greatest in NBA history, and winning a title. So I don't say that lightly. Luka's going to be a better player than James Harden. But can he do it in the playoffs? He took him to a Western Conference Finals in a year that no one thought they were going to do. That was a down year, it felt like. And it was a perfect storm, going back to the analogy that Moses Moody had, for the Warriors when it came to the Nuggets in the first round. No Jamal Murray. Then you had, where is Ja Morant? He left that series against the Memphis Grizzlies. Desmond Bane. He had all those guys. Dylan Brooks. Hurting Gary Payton second. And then obviously, again, the Western Conference Finals against the Dallas Mavericks. Handled the business there. Andrew Wiggins snatching the soul of Luka Doncic. Good morning to all of you on the YouTube chat. Tulip, Kevin, 187. Are you high? Trying to get to the 8th seed. What have you been watching all season? Well, I've been watching an inconsistent team all season. That's what I've been watching, Kev. Can I call you Kev? But I'm also looking at a Phoenix Suns team's upcoming schedule. And I'm going to pull it up right now. And Phoenix has also been inconsistent. They just lost. And they're taking on the New Orleans Pelicans, tough. Cleveland Cavaliers, not easy. Minnesota, then the Pelicans again, then the Clippers twice, Kings, Timberwolves. Correct me if I'm wrong. Those are all playoff or play-in teams they're playing the rest of the season. They, without a shadow of a doubt, try to get those sayings right. They have the hardest schedule left in the NBA. I don't even need to look it up. Pelicans, Suns, and then you got Cavs, Suns, Timberwolves, Pelicans, Clippers, Kings. Like, that is brutal. Zion's been a problem this year. Talking about not seeing that one coming. Zion Williamson being healthy and being in the best shape of his life. Good on him. I'm not laughing. I'm not laughing at him and Brandon Ingram as a tandem in the West. That's a fearsome combination if they are both on. Size, strength, speed, athleticism on full display for both of those guys. The Cavaliers, they're one of the top teams in the Eastern Conference. Is Donovan Mitchell, he back? Correct me if I'm mistaken. Oh, he back. He didn't play well yesterday against the Denver Nuggets. 13 points, 3 of 12. But he's starting to get back in his shooting routine, his rhythm, the spider. He's not happy after that loss. So I'm just looking at the schedule, Kev, going forward for some of these teams. And I'm pulling up the Warriors' schedule, as Jerry Jones liked to say. Again, we're calling it the Texas 3-step because they're playing 3 Texas teams. Got the Mavs tomorrow. You got the Rockets after that in Houston. Then you're in Dallas Friday. Back home, Jazz. All right? At the minimum, I'm saying they should go 2-2 there. But why not 3-1 the way they're playing? Why not? Then you got the Lakers. Crucial game next Tuesday in Los Angeles. Blazers stink. You got them after. Then you got the Pelicans. Then you got the Jazz. You have got to take care of your business and I think they will, against Utah twice and Portland. It's 3 wins right there. That's 3. Can they get greedy and win 4 of those 5 games, whether that's against Mavericks, Rockets, Lakers, Pelicans? It's going to be tough, but if they can continue to play like they've been playing, why not? It does look like they are going to be a 10th seed at the moment, but crazy things can happen. I can't predict an injury that's going to occur. I can't predict if they're going to go on a run right now. Does it look realistic? Well, what does a run look like to you? That's what I should ask. 888-957-9570. We're going to hear from Steve Kerr, more from Draymond, Steph Curry, about the Warriors' win last night over the San Antonio Spurs, 117-113. This team got a run in them? Are they making a run right now? They've won 4 straight. They're taking on the hottest team in the Western Conference tomorrow in Dallas, and what should be a fascinating little two-step here as they take on Dallas tomorrow, then again on Friday in Dallas. Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving. It's a great test. You know, it's one thing to beat the Spurs and to beat some of these teams that the Warriors have just beaten. The Hornets, okay. I know they beat the Magic and the Heat prior to that. Those were impressive. The Hornets and Spurs, Luka, Kyrie, and Houston, the Red Hot Rockets, who just did get humbled against that team. A little different. 888-957-9570. It's the pregame show, Joe Spadoni. Come on back. More Warriors talking 95.7 The Game.
Hi, I'm Kamiko, the founder of
Thanks, Tim. This is the pregame show. Joe Spadoni, 95.7 The Game. One segment down, two more to go until handing it off to the morning roast. Bonte Hill and Joe Shasky. They'll have their thoughts on the Warriors' fourth straight win, on the Giants split the series down in San Diego. They're heading to LA and taking on the Dodgers tonight before opening up their homestand this, is that Friday? Thursday? Friday. Against the San Diego Padres. All right. So we've been talking Warriors. And by the way, they just showed this graphic on Get Up and ESPN. They got a bajillion TVs and screens in here. So I try to stay focused on what I'm talking about, but sometimes you just see a graphic where it just makes you shake your head. So LeBron dropped 40 yesterday. His second time dropping 40, and second time in NBA history. Check that, not in NBA history, but he's second overall in NBA history with people that are 39 and over dropping 40. So he's done it twice. Michael Jordan did it 3 times with the Washington Wizards. Even when we all think about the washed up MJ with Washington, it's like, oh, that was so sad. He was still better than almost everyone in the league. Probably not named Kobe at the time. Oh, God, MJ is just unreal. But again, LeBron, 39, dropping 40 is what it is. But he did say after the game he doesn't have much time left in the game. It's going to be over soon. Which again, my whole thing is let's not hate, let's appreciate. Stephen Curry, LeBron, KD. I know they're all battling for a play-in spot right now. They're all in the play-in right now. That was basketball for the last decade. And it's kind of fading out and fizzling out. Now, do one of those guys have one last thing to say in regards to a title run? We'll see. Would I bet on the Lakers, Warriors, or Suns to go on a run here to the Western Conference Finals? No, I would not. But would I be shocked at the same time because of those guys and the respect that I have for them? No, I wouldn't. And you could say, Spadoni, you're kind of like pulling a Steiny here. You're not betting on them, but you wouldn't be shocked? Yeah. Because I have so much respect for that trio there that carried the NBA the last decade. You know, little Giannis now, you little Jokic takeover as of late. But it does feel like the end of an era. I'm just going to keep saying it. It feels like that. This is how they feel. And someone's going to go home very disappointed, and major shakeups are going to be on the way. Whether that's the Lakers or the Warriors and that potential 9-10 matchup. And then, hell, one of those teams could get bounced playing the winner of the 7 and 8 seed. So you could theoretically have the Lakers and LeBron getting bounced, then go in and play Sacramento, who's owned their asses all year, and then lose to them. And if you're the league, you're praying that does not happen. If you're Adam Silver and you lose Stephen Curry or LeBron James, yikes. And someone had a great point. I'm trying to remember the guest. Now, Sammy might be able to help me out. Last week we were talking Warriors. Maybe it was Anthony Slater, and Anthony Slater, our 95.7 The Game Warriors insider, covers The Athletic, does a hell of a job with The Athletic, I should say, covering the Warriors. And he was saying the league wouldn't want Steph and LeBron to join up together because you're splitting the eyeballs when you have those guys away from each other. What do you do when you bring them together? Well, you're just having one game. From that, I didn't even think about it from that perspective. Not that it matters if you're LeBron and you want to come join Stephen Curry. He doesn't care about that. Doesn't give a rip. But it was interesting to think about it on that perspective. And if you're Adam Silver and go, the potential for both of those dudes to not even make the playoffs. And I love the next generation. I do. I don't know how much Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is hitting nationally for the Thunder. when it comes to ratings. I don't know how much Anthony Edwards and the Minnesota Timberwolves are hitting. I know the names are, but it's still hard for some people to say, Minnesota. Then you can say, they're casual and stuff like that. Well, the casuals matter. The casuals matter when it comes to eyeballs and ratings and all that sort of stuff. And that's why you were able to build off personal rivalries with LeBron James and Stephen Curry. And yes, they were playing for Cleveland and Golden State respectively, but it was the players. It has become player-based in the NBA more so than ever in any other sport. And yeah, occasionally you get, Patrick Mahomes versus Josh Allen, although they're not playing against each other because they're both on offense. But I'm trying to look for that matchup in the West that's really going to be hitting me come playoffs. And maybe it is, the two best teams in the West going at it. And right now, it's actually the Oklahoma City Thunder having a half-game lead over the Denver Nuggets for the top seed in the Western Conference. Then you got the T-Wolves a full game back at the third spot at 51-23. So is it a matchup between, the Nuggets and Timberwolves in the Western Conference Finals? I just look at that and look at the names alone, and you can say Spadoni, that's short-sighted, but you have to be. I don't know if that's hitting. And this is where I am a little bit worried about the future of the NBA, a little bit, when it comes to their ability to sell these regions, these teams, and these players. I don't need to be sold on Giannis. He's a guy. I don't need to be sold on Joel Embiid. Luka, that's a guy brought up. I think he's box office. Anthony Edwards, he's going to be that guy. Is he already? I don't know. Zion, that's a name from college that helps. Brandon Ingram, see what I'm getting at here? I don't have a clear-cut rivalry to take over for Steph and LeBron, and I feel like I've always had that. I feel like I had a passing of the torch from MJ to Shaq and Kobe versus those Spurs teams, Dwayne Wade, Shaq going with him, right? Then you got the big three at Boston. And then it was Kobe, LeBron, who's it gonna be? Then LeBron joins the Heatles. Got the Spurs still. Kawhi Leonard emerges. And then you got the Warriors. So it is cyclical. And maybe I should just go by history and say, you know what? Something's going to happen soon. A rivalry will present itself. And maybe it happens this playoffs. Maybe it does. But for now, I'm kind of wanting that, and I'm not seeing it. And maybe you can help me see it at 888-957-9570. What's the next big rivalry in the NBA? What is it? I'm watching this tournament right now, both tourneys, the men's and women's bracket, and I'm looking at individual players that people know in both the men's and women's side. And outside of Zach Edey, and I don't know how much even that is a household name. He's just been playing for a few years now with Purdue. He's such a massive individual, so maybe. But outside of him, it's not doing much. You go to the women's side. Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, Juju Watkins, all of them, by the way, making the Elite Eight. And yes, we got a rematch of Caitlin Clark v. Angel Reese, although Angel's kind of downplaying their hatred. And there's no hate off the court. Only on the court, she said. So does that take away a little bit of the rivalry? I don't know. Everyone's friends off the court now, it seems like anyway, so it is what it is. But that's kind of what I'm talking about. Being able to associate these kids at the time in college, you can call them adults, it's fine, young adults, and that transferring over to the NBA and WNBA. That's why a guy like Zion, if he and Brandon Ingram go on a run, I think that could be one of the next big faces in the NBA. You know how I feel about Anthony Edwards, but it's on a silver platter for a guy like Zion Williamson. If he wants it, and if he has the will and desire to take it, he has all the skill in the world to be that guy. Now, can he protect his body? Can he not do what we talked about Pablo Sandoval all last week? Can he not give in to the cravings? To the cray-crays off the court as well? Shout out Mariah Mills. God. The Stephen A bits on that were just all time, by the way. We'll see. Again, I think we're sleeping on the New Orleans Pelicans this playoff series. I really do. Nolans, they're 6-4 in their last 10. They're lost, but I think they're primed. Like that series right there, I'm looking at, if the season ended today, Pelicans T-Wolves, that's juicy. Shout out Biggie Smalls. 888-957-9570. You can take your calls and texts on that. What's the next big rivalry in the NBA? That's what I want to know. Is it a player matchup? Is it a franchise? What is it? 888-957-9570. That's what I want to get into on the other side. It's a pregame show. Joe Spadoni. Come on back. 95.7 The Game.
Hypertrophic cardiomyopathy is a serious heart condition. Some symptoms include being short of breath, feeling tired, or having dizziness or chest pain. My HCM impacted how I felt and what I could do. So I asked my
Mondays. On the pregame show, Joe Spadoni, 95.7 The Game. One more segment here before handing it off to Vontae Hill and Joe Shasky, who I was just talking to outside of here along Sam Lubman. I like Mondays, especially in this line of work, because you get to talk about all the weekend of sports. And we're just talking about, the 4 teams right now that are currently in the play-in. Kings, Suns, Lakers, Warriors. And that Malik Monk injury, the MCL sprain, he's going to be out, 4 to 6 weeks at least. Probably going to be the 6th man of the year. He's been that good. I know I got Kings fans that listen. That's brutal, and that sucks. But again, each of these teams has major flaws. Kings, Suns, Lakers, Warriors. And does anyone think they're going to go on a run here? Does anyone think that? Out of those 4 teams, the most likely to go on a run, 888-957-9570. Without Monk, that's going to be tough. Suns, Bradley Beal, oh my God. Talking about worst contracts in sports right now. Ugh. I mean, that might be one of them. Deshaun Watson. Talking return on investment. Russell Wilson for the Broncos. They had to eat that. God. Are we trusting LeBron and AD? Oh, they got to the Western Conference Finals last year. All right. Warriors, just a year removed from winning a championship. 1-4 straight. Should I have more optimism about them? They're a sub 500 team at home. If they lose tomorrow, that's 2 games under 500 at home. If you can't win at home, you're not making a run. Sorry. No one fears you at Chase Center right now. Oh, it's not Oracle. Yeah, I know. They're not going back to Oracle. Get over it. That was a home court advantage. No, you had Kevin Durant. You had Stephen Curry. You had a talent advantage, and you balled out. Not crapping on Oracle. They were amazing. The crowds are amazing. I loved it. Shout out Oakland, California. It's where I live. Take great pride in that. But no one fears Steph and the Warriors. No one fears LeBron and the Lakers. No one fears Kevin Durant and the Phoenix Suns. The youth movement's here, man. I'm saying. 888-957-9570. 510. It's the curse of the number 2 overall pick. The curse of the pick. Trey Lance was number 3 overall, was he not? Trey Lance draft pick. Yeah, come on. But James Wiseman, Joey Bart, both number 2 picks. And all of them gone from their teams. We thought the future was here. We thought the future was going to be at least in one of their hands, and it's not. Brock Purdy said, see you later. Now, I'll say this. The Warriors did win a title, and James Wiseman did get a ring technically. So, you can say that hurts, and it's hurting them now. And Nick Friedel was on the other week, Odyssey NBA insider, formerly of ESPN, covering the Golden State Warriors. Love cousin Nick. But he was basically saying the Warriors are now feeling the effects of whiffing on that pick. They needed that next stud to be available alongside Jonathan Kuminga. Jonathan Kuminga, by the way, has missed his last 3 games with knee tendonitis, bilateral, both knees. And that's just a sign of wear and tear to me. That's just a sign of this is the first time he's having a heavy load of minutes. He is feeling the weight on this team, and it's taking his toll. And you got to be careful, because if you lose Kuminga, and I know they've been winning here, they won 4 straight, but without Kuminga, and we get into play-ins and we get into these series potentially, you're going to need that athleticism in youth. It was sorely missed last year in the playoffs against the Lakers in that series, and at times against the Sacramento Kings, let's be honest. Harrison Barnes 3-pointer away from probably losing that series, and he voiced his frustrations because Kuminga knew that he could help, but he needed to mature a little bit, and he did. He did. He also just needed to play more. Maybe that maturity would have come hand in hand, but that's a conversation for another day. Draymond Green. All right, let's hear from the guy. He had a hell of a performance. And Bonte said it best, we had the full Draymond Green experience this past week. The highs and the lows, and yesterday was a high. Draymond on the grit that they have showed this past week.
Man, the grit was definitely there. Coming off a tough loss in Minnesota to start the trip off, that can kill a trip, and we did a great job of bouncing back, getting the 2 games in Florida and setting ourselves up, to, if we take care of business, to get a 4-1 road trip. At this time of year, you want to be playing well. You got to win right now. Obviously, we all know what the standards are and all of that stuff. So it was a good trip for us. And now we got to go back home and try to build on it.
All right, Draymond, how was it boxing out Slender Man Victor Wembanyama?
Knowing that we got to get a shot off, I just tried to position myself for the offensive rebound like I was defensive rebound. So I was able to get behind Victor. And once I got behind him, I just started boxing him out, anticipating that we missed the shot and get the rebound. And I thought I had a great box out. And even then, he still didn't let me get the rebound, So he is a very, 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 very special talent.
That's the understatement of the century. Very special talent. Last segment I was talking about the future of the NBA, and shame on me for not even bringing up the guy we just watched yesterday, Victor Wembanyama. He's coming sooner rather than later. Yeah, you can cut that. But you look at Victor Wembanyama, Anthony Edwards. You already got Jokic, Jamal Murray, Zion, De'Aaron Fox, Sabonis. It's going to be that next big rivalry. I'm curious what it's going to be. And it's going to start emerging here soon. Maybe it needs to be another, it's not going to be a rematch in the NBA Finals. Like the Heat aren't going to be a rival or anyone. They're a rivalry, I guess, for a team like the Celtics. Can the Celtics get past them? And we're waiting for the Celtics to, do something of significance. I'm not holding my breath. They got to show me. Like Guru says, Missouri, the show me state. Well, Curry showed me that this team, when everything's going well and everything's clicking, they're still going to be a tough out. And he is very pleased with the 4-1 road trip.
Did what we had to do. Minnesota game was a tough, way to start the trip with the fourth quarter and feeling like we let one go. But responded well. With the teams we played, those are the ones that you have to win. Keep yourself in the fight. And we did that. No style points really for any of it, but you get out of here with 4 wins and keep the momentum rolling. The schedule going home for 1, going back to Texas for 2, like we have a tough task ahead of us, so we needed these.
Massive 3-game stretch coming up for the Warriors. Dallas, Houston, Dallas. What are they going to go? 3-0? 2-1, 1-2, 0-3? Can't have that. Not with the Houston Rockets breathing down in your neck. I know. That was a big loss for Houston yesterday against Dallas, trying to keep pace with the Warriors. They're 2 back now, and the Warriors owning the tie break. So if the Warriors beat them this week, it does feel like the nail in the coffin for that Rockets, play-in push, if you will. More from Steph asking about this recent stretch.
Different guys stepping up on given nights. Tonight, the way Draymond played was unbelievable, making his presence felt. He does it on the defensive end. He does it with his matchups, making those extra plays. But even tonight on the offensive end, being aggressive, taking what the defense gave him, gave us a huge boost. Trace doing what he does, what he's been continuing to do, getting better every single game. Moses off the bench playing impactful minutes. So the collective effort of whose turn is it to step up and give us a great effort.
And finally, one more from Steph. I just calm, cool, collected. Curry talking about seeing his family on Easter Sunday and what that meant.
It's just a reminder about the sacrifices of everybody who's in this building. You guys, coaches, players, sacrifice you have working on Easter weekend, and thankfully, kids are a little older where they could travel a little bit and not make it too crazy on my wife. But it was nice to see him in the stands and be able to spend the morning with him. But it's not easy what we do, and it reminds you of the sacrifices we make, our family makes to allow us to do what we do on the court. So it was nice to have him here.
Shout out Aisha Curry. Expecting number 4 on the way. She's preggers and she's taking care of those 3 kids. That is not easy. That is not easy at all. I'm speaking from experience as a father of 2. No, not from being pregnant. Relax. Although, I've had some pains in my life that I'm not doing it. It's all right. Just I always like to tease the missus about the pregnancy pains and having birth. And it's like, well, man, I've had the flu once. I tell you. Yeah, they like to say the man flu. I'm convinced the flu might affect men differently than women. That's why it hurts us more. I think that's what it is. Because they say we're all big crybabies all the time, stuff like that. I was like, maybe, just maybe, it affects us more. It's possible. But shout out to everyone who had a happy Easter yesterday. I hope you all had a lovely, lovely day. It wasn't raining, thankfully. That's all I just didn't want any rain. Got to do the Easter egg hunts. And again, what are we doing with all these plastic eggs? Can we like some biodegradable ones? I don't. Yeah, Joe, they're called actual eggs. Yeah, I know, smart ass. But come on. We have to have some sort of like recycle program for this crap. You got a minute left. How have I not played this? We're going to do it again. We did it last year. We'll do it again. Every A's win, we get one of these. Come on. Let's go. 4-3. A's get their first win of the year, avoiding the 4-game sweep against the Cleveland Guardians. Get a walk-off walk, and the Coliseum goes nuts. I'm going to miss that. I hope it doesn't go anywhere. Again, there are some terms now. Well, it's up for the A's to agree to the terms, John Fisher and co., but Oakland has set theirs. As I pull it up here, Casey Pratt, ABC 7 News, all over it, doing a hell of a job. But here we go. Oakland's offer to the Athletics for Coliseum lease extension ahead of Tuesday's meeting, so they're meeting tomorrow. 5-year lease with opt-out option after third year. Approximately $19.4 million per year. Sell the Coliseum stake. Grant Oakland one exclusive year to line up owners for expansion. A's get to stay in big league ballpark, check all MLB PA boxes, and keep full TV deal. We'll see. We'll see how they hash that out tomorrow, and we'll get back to you on Wednesday right here on 95.7 The Game. Pregame show is over. Morning roast next. Have a good day, everybody.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM and HD1 San Francisco. Always live on the free Odyssey app, Twitch, and YouTube. Powered by